After a 6-month sojourn in Mystic, Connecticut for repairs, the Mayflower 2 has made its way back to port here in America's hometown. Aside from some windy conditions, which are pretty normal for the waterfront, we couldn't have asked for a nicer day to see this 60-year-old ship return to her home for the summer season.
For a somewhat unadvertised event, the return of the Mayflower 2 enjoyed a good-sized audience that only increased in size the closer the ship came to shore. Earlier in the afternoon, we met with Richard Pickering, the Deputy Executive Director at Plymouth Plantation. That kind of makes him an expert on what the hullabaloo was all about.
Mayflower 2 is returning to her dock at State Pier after having been away for 6 months at Mystic Seaport, the Museum of America and the Sea in Mystic, Connecticut. Mayflower 2 is 60 years old, and because of her age, it's time for a major refit. Wooden ships very rarely last 6 decades, and so she spent the winter in Connecticut being surveyed to create a multi-year restoration plan.
After a brief stopover in New Bedford, the ship was just about here in America's hometown.
Our crowd's getting actually a little bit restless now, as you can see off in the distance. The Mayflower 2 finally making its way back from New Bedford. It started this morning around 7 a.m. and here it is rolling into port just a little after 2 o'clock.
With the summer tourist season just about here, Pickering stresses the economic impact that the ship has on the town of Plymouth.
For the ship to be home at State Pier means that all of the businesses along the waterfront will receive a boost, and it's one of our major attractions. And what we have discovered with Mayflower 2 being away from us for so very long is how important the ship is to so many visitors, that Mayflower resonates in the American imagination and people want to see the ship. They are very disappointed when she's not here.
It sounds like the town of Plymouth's attachment to the Mayflower 2 is emotional as well as economic. But back to the economics. With a ship this old, this certainly won't be the last time it needs repairs, and those repairs can be costly.
The museum is preparing the ship for 2020, which is the 400th anniversary of the Pilgrim's arrival. And it is an expensive undertaking, that to restore the ship to her appearance and condition when she arrived in 1957 is estimated to cost $7.5 to $8 million. And so we need to thank the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and Therese Murray for a leadership gift of $2 million that she secured when she was Madam President. And we are deeply grateful for how enlightened the Commonwealth is to restore this ship and save it.
For now, we're just glad it's back in one piece.
Reporting from the waterfront downtown Plymouth, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.